Hey friends, happy Sunday. This is the final part 5 in this series on how to navigate the unraveling. And today you want to talk about the power of purpose. Now, purpose, as we talked about in one of the earlier videos, is a tricky word for some. For some, it's triggering because it feels like something that we don't understand and is ever elusive and is something that other people have, but maybe we don't. Purpose is really very simple, and I have to preface this by saying I am passionate about the concept of purpose. Purpose is my purpose. My business is built around purpose. I have been asking existential questions since I was little about what is the purpose of life, what is my purpose in the world, what is my work, and so purpose is very simple. All it is who are you here to be and what are you here to do? Now, the doing is about contribution. So purpose at its core is about contributing to the world in the way that only you can. And there's no one right purpose. So sometimes we think of people who are purpose-driven or who have a purpose, and we think of people like Martin Luther King Jr. or Mother Teresa, people who are really trying to save the world in big ways or do big movements. It's so important to understand that all purpose is important. One is not better, one is not worse. They might seem on the surface to have different scale and different size and different impact, but all of it matters, and it's always about contribution. So whether you feel your purpose is to help heal the world and heal global warming and save the environment or whatever it is, or you feel your purpose is to raise your kids well, or to create art that brings people joy and expresses something in a unique and beautiful way. All of it is so, so important. And so we often don't pursue and figure out what is my purpose in this life because we think that it has to be something big and world-changing. And those seemingly smaller senses of purpose and contribution are as important and so, so essential. So, what is your purpose? It's important to know that that question isn't necessarily about what is your work in the world. So, purpose comes in different forms. Purpose of our life and who we're here to be and the work we're here to do is how we feel the most fulfilled and how we make the most of our lives and feel the most content when it's all said and done because we have given ourselves over to what it is that we were here to do. We've given all of ourselves to something that's really, really important to us. Purpose is also important moment to moment, day to day. Having a sense of purpose gives us a sense of direction. It pulls us through these challenging chapters and big life transitions in a way that's really important. So if we don't have a sense of purpose, we don't have a sense of direction, and it's much easier to get lost and spun out inside of anxiety and depression if we don't have that sense of purpose. So you might have purpose. So I'm very clear on what my work is in the world, who I'm here to be and what I'm here to create. But I also bring purpose to my day-to-day life, meaning that I do things with intention. I'm clear on what it is that I intend to do, what it is that I'm trying to create, how I want to engage, how I want my day to go. All of these little things, we bring purpose and intention to them. Because when we don't have a sense of purpose, we don't feel like we're contributing. We don't feel like we have any direction that we are being drawn to. And it's much easier to not just get spun out, but to stagnate and stall out. So having purpose each and every day can start with asking yourself, what is my intention for this day? How do I want to show up? Who do I want to be? What do I hope to accomplish? Now, what I hope to accomplish, again, it isn't always about the big grand things. Those small, seemingly insignificant choices that we talked about in the last video, that is where you can bring your intention each day. It might just be something that I do in particular when I'm feeling depressed or spun out or anxious or I don't feel like myself and I'm exhausted and worn out, is I get ready every day. I get up and I do my morning routine to the best of my ability, even if I don't want to. I shower, I get dressed, I do my hair, and I put myself together. Even if I'm not going anywhere, even if I'm not making a video, even if maybe all I did was this part of me, but I'm wearing jammy pants like I am right now, it gives me more of a sense of purpose because I have set an intention to do something. It doesn't solve the world problems. It doesn't necessarily solve any of my issues in my work or my finances or my health or my relationships, but it makes me feel better and it helps me show up in a more purposeful and intentional way. And so there's lots of these little things that I do every day. And when we're doing the work to rise up and come back and move through these challenging chapters and big life transitions, those small, seemingly insignificant moments of setting our intention and having purpose and bringing purpose to what we do, they're so important and they add up over time. Now let's talk a little bit about purpose on a bigger scale, because that is what I love. And I really, truly believe, and I know I said this in another video, that we all come into this life with our purpose hard-coded into us. We can talk more about the woo and the spiritual of that another time as we dig deeper into the work we're going to be doing here over the next 6 to 8 weeks. But for now, open your mind to the idea that you were born into this life with your purpose already hard-coded into your very being. It has always been there and it will always be there. At its core, it doesn't change. At its core, there's something that you are really passionate about. Your values are built around this, your beliefs are built around this. How you are drawn forward, what drives you, is built around this purpose. How it expresses itself varies as you move through life. As we go through things, as the world around us changes, our purpose expression changes. It changes with what we go through, with what we learn, with what we're drawn to, and again, what we're thrust into. So right now, we are all in the middle of a global pandemic. It is affecting all of us and all of our lives in one way or another. Whether that's because we've gotten sick or we know someone who's gotten sick, whether that's because it's affected our work and our income, if it's the general anxiety and tension and grief that we're all feeling collectively, if it's that you can't just go and do the things that you want to do, maybe some of your plans got canceled, whatever it is, it's impacting our lives and it's shaping us. And it is causing the way that we express our purpose to shift as well. It is shaping us more deeply into who we're here to be. So the expression of our purpose and our contribution changes as we move through life, but the core of it is always the same, and the core of it is always about contribution. And that contribution is one that only you can make in a very specific way that's unique to you. So again, going back to the first video, you really have to have a sense of who you are and know yourself fully to be able to discern what is my purpose work in the world and how is it shifting in relation to what's going on around me and how I am being shaped. So one thing that we can start to do is, again, bring purpose and intention to each and every moment, especially in the middle of challenging chapters and big life transitions. Engage with what is right now, what's in front of you. Bring total intention and purpose to it, meaning set your intention around it. So if you just have to go to the grocery store today, if you are just going to lounge around your house today, if you are going to make phone calls to the people that you love, if you're going to do a little bit of work, begin by setting an intention around what you want to create, how you want to show up, and how you want to engage. Be clear if there's anything that you're looking to get from it and ways that you want to give. That's it. It's simple. And it might seem silly to practice that when you're doing things like going to the grocery store on a Sunday in a pandemic, but it's those moments of presence and full engagement with each moment that allow us to tap in more deeply to who we are and how we want to show up and contribute. So this ties together a lot of the things we talked about in other videos and stuff that we'll dig into more deeply as we dive into the work here over the next 6 to 8 weeks. But I want you to just start engaging with intention and purpose in everything that you do. And notice what you're drawn to, how you feel about things, what emotions are there, what desires you have. Just pay attention to all of that. That's just how we start. So it's tuning in and being very intentional in everything that you do and thinking about, how do I want to show up and contribute? When we get clearer on what our purpose is in the world, or what the purpose is of what it is that we're going through or the path that we're on, we then do the work to give ourselves over to it fully. This is hard because this comes back to surrender. So really surrendering to the unfolding and the unraveling of whatever it is that you're going through right now. Again, that might be the pandemic, that might be things going on in your own life, challenging chapters, big life transitions, those changes and those moments that kind of disorient us and throw us off. Give yourself over to it. And what that again means is surrender. Set your sights on what you want. It's okay. Again, we're setting intentions. We're being clear about what we want to go, where we want to go. We can have a goal. We can have a vision. And then we give ourselves over to each and every moment. And we show up as fully and as presently as we can, with as much purpose and intention as possible. And as the purpose of our path and the purpose of who we're here to be and the work we're here to do gets revealed to us, which is what happens when we are able to surrender, especially to the unfolding and the unraveling, when we allow life to shape us and we're able to discern things as we go. So all of this is building on previous stuff that we talked about. Then we are able to get clear on what it is that we want to contribute and how we want to show up. And once we have that clarity, we give ourselves over to it fully. This is really hard and it's really scary because sometimes it takes us even further away from what is known and familiar. Sometimes it asks us to be a beginner when we are comfortable with what it is that we've been doing and how we've been showing up and how we've been living our lives. It might ask us to do something really crazy and scary and unexpected. And really stepping into our purpose in this life is difficult because oftentimes the reason that we haven't been clear on our purpose up until this point is because it's gotten buried under a lot of expectations and obligations and all the things that we think we should do and all the types of versions of ourselves that we think we have to be for other people. So when we uncover what our true purpose is and the ways that we want to express it in each and every moment in this state that we're in right now, whatever that may be, it's challenging because it means stepping away from what's known and familiar. And so building up the skills that we've been talking about in the other videos are so important because you have to have this tremendous amount of trust in yourself and faith in yourself and your purpose and what it is that you're going through and who you're being shaped into. You have to be able to hear and trust your intuition and be able to discern what is right and wrong for you, because when we lean more deeply into our purpose, especially if it doesn't look like what we thought it would or what other people want from us, that makes others uncomfortable. So having that ability to discern what is right for us and to be able to trust ourselves to take the actions and move forward is so, so important. So all of this builds on what we've been talking about before. And I can't say it enough that purpose is so important. Who are you here to be and what are you here to do? How are you meant to contribute? It doesn't matter what it is. There is no right or wrong purpose. There is no right size or impact or reach. What are you here to contribute? Whatever it is, it's so important right now. It's so important. It was already important before the pandemic. It's even more important now that you figure out what is the purpose of the path you are walking. Who are you here to be and what is your contribution that you're here to make? That is what I want to support you guys with. So like I said before, starting this week on Tuesday, for the next 6 to 8 weeks, we are going to be running aspects of journey mapping here in the Call of the Void group so that you guys can really start to do this work to rise up and come back, to find healing and a new sense of wholeness, to get clear on the purpose of your path right now and for your life. And so I would invite you to please join us. It's free. I'm going to be doing a teaching with a worksheet or an exercise every Tuesday and an acupressure session every Thursday. And in between then, we're going to be having conversation and sharing more content to support you with this work. But if you are feeling turned upside down inside your own life right now, this is for you, and I would be so honored to help you. So please stay tuned. Please make sure to turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything. And if there's anything you're going through in particular that you would like me to create content for, or to address more specifically, that's what I'm here for. I'm happy to do that. So please leave a comment or send me a message. And that's what I have for you guys today. So I will be starting on Tuesday. Be sure to join the group and turn on notifications. And I can't wait to share this with you. All right, talk to you soon.